What's up, everybody? What's up? Happy party! Yeah! Woo! What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the See.Plan.Do show with me, professional life coach, mindset coach, serial entrepreneur, Mr. Garry O'Neal Jr. And we are back with another power-packed podcast here, season 4, episode 17. Guess what? We're jumping in the dating pool, and I have a very special guest from across the pond. Now, guess what? I had to ask him, is it okay if I say that? Because I was like, I don't know if it was cheesy or not. We'll have Mr. Jacob Lucas. Mr. Jacob Lucas is a professional dating and relationship coach. So you already know, outside of me being a coach, I got to have other coaches on the show. And so he's going to talk about dating. We're going to go right into dating because guess what? I know you're about to start getting back to dating. All right. Our appetizer of the day. By the time you heard this, you're probably back to school. Your kids are back to school. You're back to school. So we're going to talk about 5 quick tips as far as back to school. And then we're going to get right into our entree of the evening. But without further ado, well, first of all, I'm so glad to be back. You know, I took a 1 episode break because, you know, all the stuff that's happening, you know, we're getting back to school. And guess what? Sometimes it's good to take a break. But I'm back. I'm refreshed. I feel good. All right. Hair's a little bit longer. Skin is a little bit bronzer. Look, I'm back. Okay. All right. Hopefully you got a chance to catch up. So let's go right into, as always, our shout outs. All right. So my day one A1 listeners, thank you. All right. My YouTube listeners that are watching this, or you're listening to this in 1080p, as well as people that are watching this for the first time, people that are in the U.S., outside of the U.S., all across the world. Thank you. And again, this is Mr. Garry O'Neal Jr. And as always, when you see me out in the streets or you see me across the pond, mate, I have to stop doing that. I'm sorry. All right. Always, please don't forget the junior shout out to Pops. And I am really, really excited about this show. All right. So without further ado, let's get right into our See.Plan.Do moment of the week. And that's sponsored by, of course, our favorite CPR company, Heart Savers Maryland. So right after this brief commercial break, we'll get right into it. All right. Your See.Plan.Do moment of the week is entitled Yay. All right. So if you have not checked it out, if you may not have been aware, recently Kanye West just dropped another album entitled Donda. All right. And I've been listening to it. I listened to it at least 3 times because I always want to give you guys a quick review. Now, here's the thing. Here's the motivational factor of it. 1, it's okay. All right. It's okay. Do I think it's one of the best work? No. Do I think it's the worst? No. All right. But it is enjoyable. There are some songs. As a matter of fact, the intro was coming from that album. So here's what I offer you. Just like with that album, sometimes we come across situations that we're used to, that we enjoy. And so if you're a Kanye fan, that you were a Kanye fan since college dropout, graduation, even my Dark Twisted Fantasy, some people may not like this album because it's not that. It's not the past. And sometimes instead of being upset saying, hey, you should be this again, we just have to accept people where they are. And when we accept people where they are, we don't have to hold them to anything. We could just say, hey, I accept this. I accept where you are, whether you like it or not. Here's where they are. All right. So if you get a chance to listen to it, let me know how you felt about it. But I accept Kanye West where he is. I know he's a fan of the show. I know he's listening right now. But definitely J.O. is one of the songs that's my joint right there. But guess what? Accept people where they are. People change. Things change. All types of things change, and just accept and just roll with it. All right. That is your See.Plan.Do moment of the week, again, sponsored by Heart Savers Maryland. So we're moving right along. Let's jump right into our song of the week. And that's sponsored by Greenlight Entertainment. So right after this commercial break, we'll get right into it. All right, that was your commercial. That was your your Greenlight Entertainment song of the week. And as always, guys, hey, if you're listening to this on any of your favorite streaming platforms, you heard the vibes. If you're watching this, if you're on YouTube, you know that YouTube, not yet, is not allowing us to post songs without flags or anything like that. So guess what? Look at the detail. If you comment, if you look in the details section below, you will see what song played, as well as go back to any episode. You'll see the entire list of songs that I had for you. All right. So you already know, constantly keeping the vibes. Two side-based lives for Ebers here on the See.Plan.Do show, season 4, episode 17. We're almost done, guys. We got like 7 episodes left. And this episode is jumping in the dating pool, featuring my mate, my guy. All right. All the way from the UK. All the way. Listen, man, this show is international. Please stop playing with me in this show. All right. We're international now. Okay. International. Price has gone up. Guests have gone up. It's up now. Okay. Now I'm across the country. That's it. All right. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. All right. So let's get to our appetizer week. You know, I like to keep, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I like to keep you in. We're here for a couple of minutes and then boom, you're back to doing whatever you're doing. And I appreciate you taking this time to listen to me, taking this time to listen to Jacob today, as well as so that way you take this information and you get back to doing whatever you're doing. All right. We are efficient on the show. All right. So your appetizer of the day is sponsored by none other than Silk Hair by Sasha. And Silk Hair by Sasha is a Black-owned company that provides high-quality Brazilian and Indian hair. They also carry hair bonnets, hair accessories, edge brushes, and they're always constantly adding more products. All right. They have a custom wig service. You don't feel like doing your hair? Put that in a protective style, put that wig on, and you can check each and everything that they have by going to their website and subscribing to their newsletter. You can check them out on Instagram or as well as all social media outlets at Silk Hair by Sasha, or check them out on the website at silkhairbysasha.com. All right. And here is your appetizer of the day, entitled Back to School. By the time you've heard this, you either about to, you or your kids, school is about to start again. So me being a parent, just like you're a parent, most of the people that listen to the show are parents, or if not, guess what? I want to offer you just 5 quick tips on going back to school. Okay. All right. Now, this is going to come from a place of, hey, I'm a parent. If you're a parent, these are things that I've already started instituting now. So I just want to share them with you. All right. But you can also, if it's just you going back to school, set them for yourself. All right. Tip number 1, set expectations. All right. So when you're talking with your children, especially now, tell them what it's going to look like. That's going to differ. My children had to go back to school and now they're wearing their masks. I'm not able to walk them to the classroom anymore like I used to. So set those expectations in addition to what it's going to look like, also how you're going to operate. All right. So tip number 1, set those expectations and set them early. All right. Tip number 2, set the standards. Set your standards for how things are going to go. Hey, okay, sorry. All right, set those standards. When you're talking with them about those standards, go over them. Include your children as well as yourself. All right, so if you're talking about this about yourself, set your standards for the school year. Okay, you could go back and think about last year and one of the things that you wanted to accomplish or do you not accomplish, and then set the standard for this year. Okay. Number 3, get that. Oh man, that should have been number 1. Get the morning routine down pat. All right. Start the day with a great routine. Talk to your kids about it. Talk to yourself about it. So what time are you getting up? What is that morning routine like? And let that be a routine. Okay. Because it only takes one little thing to mess up. And the next thing you know, the day is shot. You're coming late, all those different things. So number 3 is create that morning routine and get that down pat. Number 4 on these 5 things, create an evening to-do list. All right. That's really great. Just whether if it's your kids, like right now, they already know when they get home, hey, we're jumping right into homework. Then right after that, we're going to do our physical stuff, still make sure we have our routine, that morning routine, evening routine. Hey, what time are they going to bed? Because kids, as well as adults, we need structure. All right. So get your structure down. And number 5 is scheduling plenty of family time. It's very easy. Some of us are teleworking. Some of us are going back to school and teleworking. Whatever your situation is, please make sure that you schedule that family time. All right. Like for me in my household, what I've done is that I've made one of them the family time director, and the other one is the fitness director. So we interchange it. So like Lauren may say, okay, hey, we're all going to the elliptical for 30 minutes. Where Logan for family time may say, hey, we're going to play a board game or we're going to watch movies. Whatever it is, schedule these things. All right. So just to recap: 1, set expectations. 2, set your standards. 3, get that morning routine down pat. 4, create that evening to-do list. And number 5, schedule in plenty of family time. All right. So that's from me to you. That's those 5 tips. Our appetizer, as always, sponsored by SoCare by Sasha. All right. All right. We've got all of those things out of the way. And now we're here at the entree, the entree of the evening. All right. And so I want to welcome my first international guest, my first guest that is not in the US. All right. I was excited. I hit him up. First of all, if you're not following Jacob on TikTok, you're missing out. All right. If I was dating right now, I would just take all of his information and I would just be out here. All right. Absolutely amazing information. So let's bring him back from the green room. Hopefully he's able to, he enjoyed those low carb snacks in the green room. All right. Mr. Jacob Lucas. Hey, man. How's it going?
Hey, how are you doing? I'll tell you what, listen to that whole show before. I loved it. And by the way, I want to say, bring the old Kanye back. 100%. Bring the old Kanye back.
Jacob, I had to come to grips with that, man. I really had to come to grips and say, you know what? The Kanye West that really had me on fire, I have to accept that he's not here anymore, man.
Mate, the College Dropout is a masterpiece. The College Dropout, masterpiece. Masterpiece. I don't know what he's done, but we need the old Kanye.
We have and you know, we have to
pleasure being here. Absolute pleasure being here. Like, just excited. You've got great energy. I want to, see what we can chat about.
Absolutely. All right. So if for those of you guys who don't know Jacob Lucas, because of course you guys already know, I'm going to read his official bio. Do you have your permission to read some of your pieces from your official bio?
You do what you need to do.
Jacob Lucas is a professional dating and relationship coach, and Jacob's mantra to finding happiness and success in dating life is education is the key to your happiness. All right, without further ado, formally, all right, Mr. Jacob Lucas, welcome to the show. Yay. All right, listen, and I'm a fan of your work. You give us, if you guys are not on TikTok or you're not following him on those social media platforms, do it now. Like, pause this and do it now, because what I look for in a dating coach or someone to give us the information is, hey, give us 5, give us 10, let us know what we're doing right, let us know what we're doing wrong. Being able to break it down and give us all the information, and that's what that page does, man. He's went viral plenty of times, so I was very fortunate, very happy that he responded back. We were talking pre-show, and he said that, hey, man, some people, they don't think that I'm going to respond. And I'm like, yeah, some people don't respond when they get to a certain number. And I was so happy that we were able to communicate back and forth. And he's on the show from across the pond. All right, I'm sorry, that was the last time. He gave me, I asked him before the show, I said, can I say across the pond? And he said, yeah. And I was like, all right. So that was it. I'm done with saying it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. All right. But all right. So can we just jump right in to my favorite segment? The people who listen to this, their day one, A1 listeners, they already know what's going to happen. Now, for those of you guys who are just tuning in for the first time, as a podcaster, let me pull you behind the curtain. All podcasters give the guests the questions. We don't want them to stumble or fall or not be able to be prepared. But there are some questions that I do not ask them, that they're getting right on the spot in my favorite segment entitled Fuego Rapido.
You would be the best hype man of all time. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, you're not the first person to say that, man. I tell people all the time, you gotta have the energy, right? All right, so Jacob, these are rapid fire hot seat questions that I did not give you, right? I did not give you any of these questions, right?
Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. Tell us briefly the worst date you've ever been on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're doing this.
Hit me
Yes.
hard from the start. Okay.
Right off the top.
Food poisoning on a date. That was horrific.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was not cool, man. So I went on a date with a girl. She was nice. She was a cool girl. I was like, didn't feel that great. So I was like, okay, I'll go upstairs, use the restroom. Didn't think any bit of it. Had food poisoning. I mean, the worst food poisoning, probably one of my life. Come back downstairs. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, this is about years ago, right? And I was like, I need to make some up here because I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I come downstairs and I was there like, my dad said he needs help moving his wardrobe. I was like, what else can I do? What else can I do? Anyway, and then yeah, and she's like looking at me like, what? Because the date was going so well before that. She looked at me like, what? I was like, yeah, okay, I gotta go. I'm really sorry. And we walked to the car, and she was really nice, right? She was really nice. And I drove off after. I was like, I can't do that. I can't lie. I can't lie to her because she's gonna think that I'm pieing her off. Pieing off means getting rid of her, like in English.
Yeah.
She's gonna think I'm getting rid of her basically. And she was really cool. So I called her up on the way home. I was there like, I'll be honest with you, I got food poisoning. I was there like, I don't know what to do, man. I was like, anyway, and she was laughing. She was like, I knew there was something weird about that because it was so good beforehand. Anyway, I went on a second date. I actually started seeing her for a little bit. So that is a tribute to my game that I got food poisoning and still got the girl.
Still got it. See, we're not getting people on the show, guys, that don't know what they're talking about. This man got food poisoning, lied about the wardrobe, fessed up to it, and still went on another day. I appreciate that. All right. Question number 2. What currently is your favorite gadget, device, app right now?
Ooh, favorite app or gadget?
Yep, favorite app. It could be a device, any type of electronic, whatever's going on.
When I say app, can I like change it up a little bit instead of like gadget? On a date, I always think, okay, on a date, so you should always have something like interesting. And this sounds really weird because it sounds quite juvenile, but it's not. You should be good at one bar trick. One bar trick, all right? So you want to date with someone, and this works wonders. I've done every single time, and it works every single time when I've been on dates. So I actually got a really good trick with a necklace, right? Really, really good trick with a necklace. I can't do it unless you have 2 people. So basically, I put on your thumb. I learned this when I was a little kid, right? And I always remember it. You put on someone's thumb and you do the trick, and it basically like looks like it goes through their thumb, like it evaporates their thumb. Absolutely incredible trick. And they're like, "What? That's amazing!" Like, and I'm like, "Yeah," but what it does, it gets you. Then you can then, because you're touching them, it breaks the touch barrier. It's fun. It makes you look interesting. I've got loads of them. If you want like learn little tricks like that, go on something called Scam School on YouTube, and there's so many like bar tricks. I'll tell you what. That is one of the best things in the world because that gets it's exciting. It's memorable as well. Yeah, dating is memorable with somebody. So like, I went to date this guy and he was like really cool. Like he showed me like his bar trip and like it was really. Most people on dates like, oh, how are you? Yeah, I do this for my job. I do that for my job.
Right.
Quite generic, quite boring. You got a guy who whacks out or girl. He just whips out a bar trick. They'd be like, that's cool, man. Like, do you know what I mean? I always say, really, man, it always works. Just weird, eh?
All right, I like that. I'm gonna have to check it out. So check out Scam School. All right, last question. So typically on this show, I think it has to be different. And I know the day one alien listeners is like, no way, Gary's not asking these questions. Here in the US, we are a fan of chicken wings. Are you a fan of chicken wings in the UK?
I'm a vegan, mate. I'm a vegan.
Okay. All right. What currently is your? This is the last one. What currently? No, one more after this. What is your current favorite vegan dish?
Oh, my current favorite vegan dish. That's tough.
And if this is the only dish that you can eat, that's it for the rest of your life.
Oh man, it's got to go curry, a vegan curry, like straight up, like proper, like all the spices, all like the veg, like all of that. You can't go wrong. It's who doesn't like spice and veg and all that stuff. Nobody. So it has to be that. That's what
okay. Vegan curry. Okay. You know what? I like cauliflower, but I like if they add like a sauce to it, like a Korean barbecue cauliflower or like a General Tso's. I like that. Or even, I've had a fried cauliflower. It's okay. All right. Last thing as we wrap up. Fuego. Rapido. Last question. All right. We always like to flex on the show. So flexing here is just giving us something right now that is very great happening to you in your life, whether it's happening now, it's going to happen in the next 30 days. Go.
Oh my days, that's a tough one. That's a real hard one. So can you give me an example what you mean?
All right, like I had a person on the show and they said they just bought a boat.
They bought what?
They bought a boat.
Oh, blimey. Okay, well, I got the weirdest flex that people don't really see. Like, I was ranked 24th in Europe on an Xbox game.
There you go. Were you ranked 24?
Yeah. It was absolutely. I'm like the biggest nerd you'll ever meet in your life as well. That's probably why I'm like quite good at my jobs. I get obsessed with stuff.
Yeah.
I get really obsessed with like stuff that like challenges my brain. That's why like the whole psychology of dating thing, I've been like transfixed on stuff, right? And I like that game. I remember I used to be a boxing, do like boxing events basically. So I used to be a professional boxer, and I did boxing events. And one summer, I basically, it was too hot to do anything. I was like, can't do anything. I've always loved the Xbox, and I was like, you know what? I love this game, fixated on it. It was a Dragon Ball game, right? I'm a massive nerd of it. Dragon Ball Fighters, right? Anyway, ranked like 24th in Europe on it now. So weird flex, but I just love it. So, yeah. Strange, eh?
Wow, ranked 24. Wow. Look, see, you guys even know this. Here's this handsome guy that is ranked in the world. Right? Thank you for playing Flag over Rapido, man. I appreciate that, man. That was interesting. I wanted to see where we would go with it. All right, so let's get into season 4, episode 17, jumping in the dating pool. And again, I'm talking with, oh man, world famous, professionally ranked. All right. Professional dating and relationship coach, Mr. Jacob Lucas. And so, all right, question number 1. All right, so you clearly you see what's going on. You're on the internet. You're out here. Yeah. Where do you think we are as far as the state of dating? Where do you think we are? We're in a good place. We're in a bad place.
Yeah, it's a bad position. I mean, the main thing is because of the pandemic. It really did like heighten a lot of things for people. Mental health is obviously like deteriorated because of the pandemic. Basically, it's really took a tumble. But main thing is as well is they've got agoraphobia, where people are obviously really scared to go outside the house and like, you know, just develop like talking to people because they've been stuck in lockdown for so long. But the main thing I found is now is people's social skills have, you know, taken a tumble. It's like going to the gym. If you don't keep at it, you're gonna struggle, right? Yeah. Same with socializing. So when they're talking to people, they don't seem to pick up the social cues as much. They don't really understand how to like conversational thread and, you know, and let the conversations go and flow. Yeah. And I found a lot of people is, even when you got somebody who has got really good social skills, they develop themselves over lockdown and stuff. When they go out dating, not everybody has. They're talking to people and it's like they're really struggling to talk to people because they have good social skills, but the other person does not. So then they get very frustrated because they're like, why can't I connect with anybody? And that is a real reoccurring thing that's happening at the minute. And it is like the pandemic has the pandemic has taken a massive hit on the dating world. So that's why I would say it's like it's even as a life coach yourself, I'm sure you know this stuff anyway. But like people have obviously like gone back a little bit in terms of like they're socializing, which is very understandable. It's very normal. And because of that, it's more like a hostile environment for people. Not so much hostile, more like dismissive because they're like, I can't be asked of you. I can't be asked of you because you're not, you know, ticking the boxes for me right away. And it's my biggest advice for people is you kind of got like it's going to be hard because it is going to be hard, but you've got to keep going on these dates. Even when you meet somebody who isn't that good at socializing and you're not clicking with them, it doesn't mean the next person is going to be the same, because it just takes one good person for you to change your whole dating life. Just one. Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I would say is the hardest thing about dating at the minute is the pandemic has affected people's mentalities through a lot of different things. So But again, you must have come across that yourself many times.
Yeah, and that external factor is being taken away. So you got to think that if now I'm only relying, like for me, I talk, you know, so but you got to think, well, where is somebody who may not be as social, you know, socially let's say adequate like you or myself, and now they may have used going out, the dating, the restaurant, the bowling, whatever, the concert, as sort of helping them, but now they don't have it. Now it's just you, and it's like, oh crap, I don't really know how to, how can I connect with this person? That makes perfect sense.
When people got to sit at home all day, they got to look inside themselves a little bit, and people don't like it. As cliche as that sounds, and I'm actually studying a lot of philosophy at the minute as well. I love philosophy, and it's basically like it's all about yourself, like in the world and everything, and like really looking stuff deep. When people actually got sit at home, not socialize, not go to work, they got to look inside themselves, and it's quite scary for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's really hard, and it affects them. It affects their mentality for a lot of different things, and they don't look for the same partners after lockdown. That's also a big thing that I found. People will look for different kind of partners because they obviously had like 2 years of like being by themselves. Really, really interesting, like social dynamics, and they're really interesting. So,
oh man, thank you for that. All right, question number 2. So you've been doing this for a while. All right. What are some of the myths that you have come across that you've heard about, whether it was a client, a conversation, people chiming in on social media? What are some of those myths that you're like, hey, these are not true, but people treat them as true?
Oh, I love this. Social media, the biggest myth is social media is killing dating. Absolutely wrong. It is doing the complete opposite. People say, oh, the social media is killing. No, it's not. This is the only time in human history where we have 1 billion people at our fingertips to talk to. Like, literally, like, so people like, let's say back in like, I don't know, medieval times, you have like, what, 50 people in your village? You know what I mean? Like, you can't talk to no one. Like, whereas now you have 1 billion people at your fingertips. You just got to learn a little bit of game and you'll be all right. And that's one of the biggest myths. Another myth is I feel really sorry for women as well, because a lot of men are not very nice to women. And I personally found as a dating coach that the more I've done it, the more I feel that women are, I'm not just being a feminist here, but like women are the better sex in the dating world. They really are. They look for more of a connection. They want to settle down with someone. With a lot of guys do just want to have sex and go about the business, and it is unfortunate. However, a lot of women say there are no good guys out there, but there are good guys out there as well. The thing is, these good guys do get snapped up pretty quick because they are the good guys. That's the only problem, and they don't come around a massive amount. But that's a big myth for women out there. I just give up because there's no good guys out there. When I come across somebody says that, there absolutely is. You just got to keep at it, and I promise you they do exist. And you just got to really just don't give up on it. It's like the whole so again, it's like philosophy, isn't it? Like, so do you know about Plato? About Plato stuff?
Of course. Yeah, we love Plato here.
Like Plato, like he says, like to find your soulmate, first of all, you got to believe there is a soulmate out there for you. And
there you go.
I completely believe that. So you've got to have the mentality going in there. There will be someone else out there for me. Just got to put the work in, basically.
Jacob, I tell people, especially the people that are struggling with dating, because I get it, because there are a lot of creeps and a lot of weirdos and the people that may not connect. But I tell them, it's 7 billion people in the planet. Like, it's 7 billion. You cannot tell me that the things that you want, unless you're into a very specific thing that is only exclusive to you, that's it. Like, you could literally date somebody who's only into like eating not mattresses. That would be weird. But there was but you could literally like whatever you want. Like, you could say, hey, I only want to date a woman or a man who's a certain height, or they're in the gym, or they're a coach like us, or they drive this type of car. Like, you can literally do that. Like, it may be a small market, it may be a small pool, but that's a reality. All right. Thank 100%. You, man. Yeah. Listen, ladies, good guys are getting snatched up quick, getting snatched up. So don't, hey, when you see one, don't put them in the friend zone. All right. Number 3. All right. So there are people right now, that despite the pandemic, I feel like we're about to go back to another area of the pandemic with the Delta virus, but there are people that I do see a lot more people are starting to date. Right. What are some tips that you would offer a person that is like, all right, that's it, I'm getting back into dating tomorrow? What tips are you offering?
Hello, you still there?
Now.
There you go. Think out a second. Take tips I'd offer to people. Okay, very simple. Is get good at conversation and make sure the conversation flows properly. One of the biggest problems is people conversation kill. If you want to date with some, for example, if I was on a date with a girl and she conversation killed me, which basically means if I ask a question like, for example, how was your day? And they go, yeah, good. That's conversation killing. Like, it's the worst
I would
date.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Anyway, if I was on a date with somebody and they start doing that, or you ask them questions and they don't ask you nothing back, instantly, I will never see that person again. I will not even bother talking to them again. So what I would say is just ask questions. It's the simplest thing in the world. Just ask people questions. Just be like, oh, so what do you do for work, for example? They're like, oh, I'm a plumber. Cool. And they should say, oh, what do you do for work? Oh, then you have a conversation flowing off it. So basically, whenever somebody asks you a question, just ask them it back if you don't know what to say. It's really simple. Do not conversation kill. Nerves is a big thing for people as well. People get really nervous. If you are someone who struggles with nerves, start off really small. Don't go for a dinner date. It's too intense. If you're sat there for 3 hours and you have anxiety and you're like, whew, before you go to date, 3 hours of doing that is a long, hard thing to do. So go for something small. Go for a coffee date. There's no pressure. You can literally go before your coffee date. It's called a false time constraint. It's actually really good. So you just make up a little lie, basically. So before you go to a date, you say, sorry, I'm going for a date, but I can't stay too long now because I have to go to work tomorrow morning or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Or I've got to go to the gym or whatever. That way, if you're on a date and your nerves are getting too much for you, you have a get out of jail free card. You'd be like, I've had a nice time. I've had a real great time. However, I've really got to go now, though. But we can do this again. That way, your nerves are not stopping you from dating that person again, because that person will just think, that's cool. They're just going to the gym. They like me. So that way, it's a real good nerve thing. And in your head, you won't be as nervous anyway, because you'll be like, I can get out of this whenever I want. And it's like a paradox kind of thing, isn't it? Like oxymoron paradox, whatever it is. It's like, because you know you can leave, you will stay. So yeah, and your nerves are good. So that's probably two really simple tips that I would say stick to at the minute. Don't conversation kill, and if you're nervous, just use that false time constraint because it will save you so many times.
That is, guys, first season 4, episode 17, jumping into the dating pool with professional dating and relationship coach Jacob Lucas. Guys, did y'all hear that? Like, oh my gosh, when I was dating, like that conversation killer, man, I'd be like, man, I'm gonna get out of here. But that second one, that time constraint, I like that a lot. You know,
and the thing is, if you leave as well, the other person doesn't think that you left them because you don't like them. This thing is just legit.
They already knew, right? Wow, that was. I like that. I like that one a lot. I like that one. I've never heard that one before. I've never heard that one as far as like, hey, creating that false time constraint. So that way, if you get that get out of jail free card and you can just leave when it gets too intense, that's great.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And they don't feel like, hey, you're just
a really anxious person when I was younger, like really anxious. And I used to do it myself, and I'll tell you what, because of it, it sorted me out so much better. Honestly, it really does. So, and then eventually you won't need it. So
okay, I like that a lot. All right, so as we start to wrap some of this up here, season 4, episode 17. All right. So there are people who are currently probably dating now, right?
Yeah.
And what would you say to the people who have come across negative situations, bad experiences, bad dates? They're going to say, Garry, Jacob, there is pee in the dating pool. All right. What should, and they're ready to give up. What would you say to them?
Okay. Right. So, okay. First of all, you won't get as bad a date if I had food poisoning, so you'd be all right. Don't worry about that. Okay. So, you'll be fine. They don't get more embarrassing than that. The thing is, what's the worst that can happen? If you're on a date with somebody, you get a negative experience, right? Let's say, for example, just a crap date. You can kind of turn shit into sugar, basically. So basically, for one, you can learn from the date. What kind of guy or girl were you going for? Was it like the kind of girl or guy you would normally go for? If not, then you know for a fact that's just something you don't need to do. It's like you're eliminating that kind of like person in the future, if that makes sense. So that's another like tick of the box. Secondly, I always love this on dates. What's your worst date you've been on? And then people go, oh, well, I did this and that. You'd be like, well, tell you what, I've got a better story than you. I guarantee it. Then you can flow into a conversation by, I went on a date with this girl and she didn't talk. She was like, really boring. And she said some weird stuff. And I was there like, anyway, you kind of like use that as a conversation to get into. And it sounds weird because that always comes up on dates. Also, don't give up either. Just because you've had one date. Let's say, for example, okay, we use famous sportsman, for example, Michael Jordan, right? When he was in college basketball, he got declined. He had negative experiences. It was terrible, right? Kept going, kept trying, and he's obviously one of the best of all time. Simple. Right. Because if you don't, it's same with dating and love. If you give up, you will be stuck. No one's going to help you. No one will help you out of this. Like, in terms of like, you have to do the work yourself. You can get people give you advice on what to do, but ultimately, you need to do it yourself. It's like going to the gym. You get a personal trainer that tells you to lift a weight, but you still got to lift that weight. So you need to always be taking action to better yourself. Even if you go through a bad experience, you still got to be going through that action. It's like a guy who had KFC, for example. He had about 100 failures before he, had one successful business. And it's like the same with love. You have 100 bad relationships, but next one you might meet Prince Charming. So don't give up, like at all.
I like that, man. I like that. All right, so let's wrap this up. I know that you are a busy guy. Again, thank you for coming on the show, man. This has been really, really fun. All right, so the millions and millions of listeners watching this, they're getting the vibes from you. Please give them one final, lasting thought that they can take, that they can write in their journal for today. They can write down. They can just take it in and just apply it today.
One lasting thought about dating or love. Yeah. Okay.
Or it could be anything, man.
I'll keep it dating for a minute. I would say really, really simple. Your education is your key to everything, right? Evil is ignorance, basically. That's basically, okay? So education is your key to everything. If you want to be good, look at how to do body language. Like, this is all available on YouTube, on the internet. Like, the internet is the best teacher in the world. So you got body language, you got like what you can say to people. But what I would say is your education is key. If you're sitting there and you're expecting somebody to knock on your door and go, "Oh, let's get married," it ain't gonna happen. But when you're like, "Yeah, it's not," you'd be shocked that people really expect that's gonna happen. Like, someone's gonna fall into their lap. It never does. Like, it never does. But if you go out there and you learn your body language, you learn the psychology of stuff, then what's going to happen is when you go on dates with somebody and, for example, they give you like a body language cue that they're interested in you, you won't miss that. And you're like, yes, I can now progress into the next stage. I know how to, like, I can now escalate the physical touch. I can then, or escalate the flirting, for example, because you recognize their body language. That, for example, they're playing their hair, they're like scratching this area or whatever it is. But yep, that's that. Or, for example, with psychology, they're saying these certain things because they feel in a certain way. They might be happy, they might be anxious, but then that when you date that person, you can then identify what they're doing and flip it around and make sure that you calm their nerves, or you keep pursuing on this happiness that they're on. So that's what I would say. Education is your best friend to getting good at dating. Do not expect it to fall into your lap. You have to put work in like you would with anything else in the world. So, yeah.
I love it, man. Jacob, thank you for being on the show. All right, how can people connect with you? Drop us your details. What's going on with you? Give us your info.
Best thing to do is just follow my TikTok, Jacob Lucas 101. Got like loads of videos on there. Being viral, I think like 6 or 7 times. I think it is now.
Millions.
And then go on my Instagram, Jacob Lucas 101 again. And then, just go on there. I do one-to-one dating coaching as well. Just drop me a message on the DMs. I always reply. I will not ignore you. Unless you send me some weird message, I'm not going to ignore you, so don't worry about it. So I do that as well. And that's probably 2 best ways. I've got a website as well, which is on my Instagram, which is britishdatingcoach.com. Got everything on there. Little tips as well on there. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed this show. It's been really good fun. Great energy.
I appreciate that, man. All right, hold time to put you back into the green room. So as I close this out, man, I definitely appreciate everything that you did today. This is such an amazing episode. All right, hold tight. All right, guys, that is the end of the show, mate. Okay, that was it. I promise. All right, guys, please make sure you connect with Jacob on all those social media platforms. Listen, he gives you all the information, very digestible, very now. All right, you can apply those things right now. All right, guys, that is the end of this episode. As I said, you can connect with him. Please make sure you follow him on all those social media contents. Tell him how you felt about the show. Let me know how you felt about this show in the comments, on social media platforms, all those things. I'm dropping hot, fresh episodes each and every Tuesday. You can always check it out on all social media platforms or go to the website, See.Plan.Do.show.com. All right. You want to be a guest on the show, you want to promote your goods, your services, any one of those things, please let me know. I do offer sponsorship and ad opportunities. All right. Hey, guys, until we see each other again, because we'll see each other clearly. All right. I'm watching you, watching me, watching you. Yeah. You think that camera is one way. It's two ways. I can see you right now. All right. Until we talk again, all right, we're going to talk. And guess what? Don't give me any conversation killers like Jacob talked about. We're not killing conversations. And until we share those special, special moments again, guys, always remember, see what you want to do, plan those things out. And what's that? Did you know what I was going to say? Because you've been watching the show for a long time. Oh, of course. We're simply going to do it. See.Plan.Do. That's it, right? All right. Until I see you guys again, same life coaching time and same life coaching channel. Bye.